Page 7, this is line 2. Right above it they give you a reading drill. I don't cover the reading drills, you can do that yourself, but they're adding out more stuff in the drill that we haven't talked about, so I really don't want to get into that. I want to take this slow and easy. I'll explain it all eventually. I'm just going to take a few videos to get there. If I try and explain everything at once, the video will last an hour and you'll fall asleep and I'll fall asleep and we'll both lose interest. So let's talk about line 2. Now on line 1 we did the right hand. Now we get to do the left hand. Oh boy. So the counting's the same, doesn't matter what you see the 2 staves. Well, on line 1 we had notes in the top staff and the bottom staff was empty. Well, in this one the top staff is empty. And for now we're going to do the right hand is going to do the stuff in the top staff and the left hand is going to do the stuff in the bottom staff. Now we'll switch that around and have some fun with it later on, but right now we're going to leave it at that. So left hand for line 2. And the first note is a C. It's the same C as we just had, and that C, by the way, is called middle C. It's not middle C because it's in the middle of the piano. It's not in the middle of the piano. Actually, middle of the piano is closer to an F, but the C, it's close to the middle. It's called middle C because it's in the middle of the grand staff, and I'll explain a grand staff a little later. Just know it right now, it's that first note in line 2 is a C. It's the same note as the first note in line 1. It's the same key on the piano, same note. It's a C, it's middle C. And the second one, you go down the alphabet because we're going down the piano. So it's a B, and a B is at the group of 3 black keys. So we got a lot of B's, lots of B's. But the only one we want is that one that's shown in the music, and that one is right under middle C is here. The next one is an A. Well, an A is in the upper middle of a group of 3. You see, in a group of 3 black keys, you have 2 middle notes. And the upper middle, that's an A. Lots of A's. But the only one we want is the one in the music, and that is this A. So those are the notes we're interested in. When you see those notes in the music, you play these notes on the piano. Counting's the same. Finger numbers, for the left hand, they put the finger numbers underneath the staff. Gets a bit crowded in the middle. Other stuff goes in the middle. We'll get there later. So thumb, remember thumb is finger 1, the little finger is finger 5. You can figure out the rest. Thumb is here, and the second finger is going to do the B, and the third finger is going to do the A. And in case you're wondering, I have a slight shake in my left hand. Doctor says, good luck with that. So so you're going to see this shake occasionally. I'm not trying to do vibrato or anything. We don't vibrato on the piano intentionally. So don't let it distract you, is what I'm saying. Pretend I'm holding the hand still. Okay. Sometimes I'll reach down and I'll brace my hand here to hold it there. I'm not suggesting you do that. You should have your hand up here, but I tend to do that because I tend to shake, and this way I can steady my hand so it doesn't look quite so bad. Or if I play here, the thumb will shake, and so I'll put the thumb down here, or I'll hook the thumb up against it to rest it so it doesn't shake so much in the video. When I'm playing for myself or people, I don't worry about that. I just shake away, have fun. So in this piece, count it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's the same rhythm, which is the long shorts of the notes, as the first line, except now we're doing it in the left hand. So not a lot to point out there, I don't think. So let me introduce a few more symbols, because I didn't cover them all yet. You see more that's on the page than what I've talked about. For instance, at the very end, you see a thin and thick bar line together. That is the musical symbol for the end of a piece. You can look at different pieces of music wherever, and it's not always at the end. It might be in the middle someplace, because we move around. I'll explain the roadmap for getting through these pieces as we do them. Right now it's going to be at the end of the piece because we're just going from start to finish, and that's it. But you'll see that symbol most of the time. As I said, there's exceptions, but you'll see the symbol, and that means it's over. That's where it ends. Then the other thing I think I need to point out would be the curly brace at the very beginning of these. That curly brace, it's a bump. I don't draw very well, but that's it. And that is the symbol for a grand staff. A grand staff is what keyboard instruments use. It's what harps use. Is what any instrument that needs the two staves together would use a grand staff. It just identifies it. When you see that, you know instantly it's a grand staff. Doesn't mean instantly it's for piano, because other instruments use a grand staff, but just know it's a grand staff. When people say it's a grand staff, that's what they're talking about. The middle C, I referenced earlier, I said it was in the middle of a grand staff. Well, if you look at the first note of the first two lines, that C, it's on a little line, we call it a ledger line. It's a line below the staff, because we can have more notes than in the staff. We can just add these little lines and keep going up or down, whatever. So that note in the first line is below the staff, the upper staff, but the first note in the second line is above the lower staff. It's the same note. So if they could squish these staves together a little bit more, that C would be right in the middle of them. It's middle C. It's the middle note between the staves. Now that's not everything yet. I'll save some more to another video, but you need to know what all this stuff is, so it's important. Now I'd like to play this with you, so I'm going to give us 4 counts. And we'll play it together to make sure you have it correct. So go ahead and put your hand in this position here. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Off. Well, there's a teacher's part on the previous page. I'd like to play that. We can do a duet. You can play this right where it is. You can move it up here and pretend this is middle C and play it up here. If there's somebody playing the same keyboard as you, give you a little more room. Otherwise, just play it right where it's at. I'll give us 4 counts and let's play this together. 1, 2, ready, go.